like to drive now.
What does real equality look like?
Up the inside! Gutierrez takes the lead from RXR. Absolutely huge crash.
What does real equality sound like?
Oh, massive hit!
What does real equality feel like? The first gender-equal motorsport.
Gutierrez and Taylor side by side. It's a brilliant move.
Our commitment to equality is written in stone.
Maybe the closest finish ever in Extreme E history.
And it's here to stay.
She's absolutely sending it out there.
This is equality. This is Extreme E.
Yes, gender equality is in the DNA of this pioneering sport as we welcome you to Scotland for round 3 of Extreme E 2024.
The stunning landscapes of Dumfries and Galloway are about to play host to the Hydro X Prix. And if last year's action is anything to go by, we're in for a thriller.
This all-electric off-road championship is about so much more than just racing, as we tour the globe raising awareness about climate change while leaving a lasting legacy at every race location. This time, the action will unfold in a former coal mine that's being transformed into a hydro power plant.
16 of the world's best off-road drivers are about to go wheel to wheel, with female and male drivers racing on equal terms in the fight to be crowned Extreme E champions.
I'm Jenny Gow. Alongside me is Andrew Coley with Laura Winter in the paddock, as we bring you all the best of the action from the Hydro X Prix.
We started the season back in February in Saudi Arabia. Jeddah was the venue, sand and rocks the surface. Our winners were Rosberg X Racing and Acciona Sainz.
That brings us to this weekend's action and the Hydro X Prix in Scotland. Dumfries and Galloway to be exact, and the terrain, grass, mud and gravel.
We then head down to the Mediterranean, a very familiar venue, the Island X Prix in Sardinia. 14th to the 15th of September, wildfires is the theme, dry earth and ruts, and we'll be staying down there, in fact, Jenny, for another pair of events the following weekend.
Yeah, we like it so much. We'll be back on the 21st and 22nd of September 2024.
For the final 2 rounds of the season, we will be heading across to the USA for the first time ever for Extreme E. Phoenix in Arizona. There's plenty of action still to come, so let's remind ourselves of how it has unfolded so far this year.
Extreme E returned to the deserts of Saudi Arabia for the first 2 rounds of Season 4, the Desert X Prix. With 2 new teams joining the championship, including the first ever female Saudi driver to compete, and rallycross legend and 11 times X Games gold medalist Travis Pastrana.
Get another shot to try to beat Matthias Ekstrom.
The drivers battled it out in the rocky and sandy terrain of Jeddah. Reigning champions Rosberg X Racing carried their Season 3 title-winning form into 2024, finishing top of the qualifying standings. Yes. Veloce Racing, Neon McLaren and Acciona Sainz joined them in the first grand final of the season for one of the most exciting races in Extreme E history.
An incredible line from Matthias Ekstrom comes out. It's super wide up the inside, trying to get all the way to the lead, and he does. Ekstrom with an unbelievable cutback. Now, though, Kristoffersson fights back. He's got the alternate line and carries a bit more pace. Alongside Matthias Ekstrom now, Kristoffersson up the inside line makes the pass.
The battle out front continued with Christina Gutierrez and Michaela Arlen-Kozlinski at the wheel.
Oh, contact between them. Up the inside. Side by side. It's going to be enough, surely. Gutierrez on a roll. McConnell's over on his side. Gutierrez takes the lead from RXR.
She's on your inside. Keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing.
Yes, go on, go on.
Arlen Kotlinski looking to the inside line, makes the pass back again. After an incredible battle with Gutierrez, she takes the win. It's 0.3 of a second between them at the line, 0.1.
Rosberg X Racing continued to dominate on day 2, coming out as top qualifiers again and securing a spot in the grand final together with Acciona Sainz. The remaining 2 spots were decided in a nail-biting battle in qualifying 2.
Focus on passing both of these, Timmy. You can do this. Focus on both of them, get past.
A perfect comeback from Timmy Hansen saw Andretti Ultequila progress to the final race. And level on points in 4th, Veloce Racing took the final spot with a quicker time than Neon McLaren in the Continental Traction Challenge.
But it's Fraser McConnell who leads at the moment.
Acciona Sainz never looked back after getting the whole shot, and with all the drivers evenly matched, it was a sprint to the finish line.
Acciona Sainz get the win.
Sí, señor.
What a start to the year. We are in for a hell of a season.
So these are the standings going into the Hydro X Prix. You can see Rosberg X Racing lead the way on 41 points, but it's a close-fought thing. Acciona Sainz on just 39 points. Eon next to Veloce Racing, 33 points, and then Andretti Ultequila, 31 points. Look how close it is now. 5th place, Neil McLaren Extreme E Team on 30, Legacy Motor Club on 18, and JBXE and Sun Mini Mill both have 10 points. So there's everything to play for this weekend.
What terrific racing we had last time out in Saudi Arabia for rounds 1 and 2 of Extreme E Season 4. 2 of the protagonists, the heroes from those rounds, join me now, winning Acciona Sainz and winning RXR as well. We see the rivalry reignited once again for this year. Michaela, that battle with Cristina Gutierrez last time out, many saying it's one of the greatest races XE has ever seen. How do you do it? How do you get the job done? And how are you going to do it here in Scotland?
I mean, like you say, it was really nice battle, and Christina's such a great driver. They're really great drivers in general in this championship. But yeah, it was a good run, and coming here to Scotland, it's been a long gap, so it's good to be back and totally different conditions. And I think that's what Extreme is all about. We race in different places in these really extreme locations. So just finding the best way for this track and always focus forward.
I'm loving the fact the Swede has gone bare arms, the Brit's got 1 jacket on, the Spaniard's gone for 3, 4, who knows. Like, look, to pick yourself up from how Season 3 ended, to then win in that round last time out in the Desert X Prix, what mental fortitude did that take from you?
Yeah, of course it was really nice it was a bit of redemption, but I think the best way to get the redemption would be to win a championship. So we will try hard this year. It was really good to start, strong. But this year I think the level is crazy. It's so many good drivers and so many good teams. Everybody is improving a lot, and it will be so tough. So yeah, happy to start well, but we need to keep working well and yeah, give our 100%.
We shall see. And of course, just 2 points or so separates you two at the top of the standings as well. So I'm expecting some very close racing between the two of you. Thank you both very much for joining me. Best of luck for this weekend.
On then to qualifying in Scotland, Q1 race 1. We're going to ride on board with Molly Taylor. Now keep an eye out here for Timo Scheider in the yellow Sun Mini Min machine. He goes late on the brakes, collects the rear of the Veloce car, then collects the front. Molly Taylor left with a big recovery job to do. She would fight her way back through the field, and in fact Sun Mini Min would be given a 10-second penalty for that contact. Later in the race, Kevin Hansen had taken over the wheel of the Veloce machine. He had this fantastic battle with Andreas Bakker at JBXE. Made the pass, Bakker had got back alongside. At this point, we didn't realise the Norwegian had a puncture. The JBXE machine ended up in the ditch, but not as much damage as this. Anderson takes the checkered flag and then a passenger as she hits a bump and has an absolutely massive end-over-end crash. Big damage for the Sun Mini Mill squad. As you can see, Anderson thankfully okay. Timo Scheider disappointed. A win, and then this roll just after the line. The 10-second penalty would have dropped them back to P2, but they'll be far more worried about the work there is to do to get this car ready now for Q2. On to race 2. On the inside line, Timmy Hansen for Andretti Ultequila got a great start. It was old teammates doing battle. A mistake from Michaela Arlen Kotlinski. You'll see a down flag in just a moment from Cristina Gutierrez. She cut to the inside, but she had a puncture on the rear left of the McLaren, which is what made that car turn in early. She managed to hold off her old teammate Fraser McConnell for much of the lap, but the Jamaican went all the way round the outside with this fantastic move to get himself up into P2. Lovely stuff from the old teammates. McConnell on the inside as they come over the jump at the end of the Continental Traction Challenge. Out front, though, no challenge for Katie Munnings and Timmy Hansen. They take the win. That sees them joint at the top of the standings with Timmy's younger brother Kevin Hansen and Molly Taylor for Veloce. McConnell and Sands in P3. Remember, the top 4 will go through to the final and the bottom 4 to the redemption race. RXR currently not making the cut.
Well, that was fun.
Yeah, it was an exciting way to come back after a long, long break, wasn't it, from Saudi Arabia? We thought we'd get things mixed up quite nicely.
And why not?
Indeed. Some of the teams have been mixed up, actually. This is Andreas Backerud. He's got a new teammate this weekend. Amanda Sorensen takes over from Dania Akil, who drove in Saudi Arabia. Nice to see Sorensen back, but this is all about Andreas, the Norwegian legend. He was fastest in FP1, Jenny. He was really pleased when he sent us a little video all full of smiles.
Yeah, that was yesterday, wasn't it, when they went out on track for their first taste. And this, of course, is the absolute legend that is Mattias Ekström. Look at him in the neon McLaren Extreme E machine. The famous papaya orange and the black trim. And you can see him out on track. They did good as well.
They did indeed. Ekström's always quick, isn't he? The papaya standing out very nicely in the slightly gloomier skies of Scotland. Absolutely beautiful venue, and it's nice, I think, to have all the different weather in the course of a season. We can't only go hot, sunny places, can we?
It is coming up very soon here in Scotland at the Hydro X Prix. Mattias Ekström joins me, almost birthday boy. It's your birthday tomorrow, isn't it? So we'll say happy birthday then, we'll save it. But listen, a tricky start for McLaren with that puncture for Cristina Gutierrez earlier on. How do you see your chances in this second round?
It will be very exciting again, and Cristina has a proper battle on her hands at the start in the first stint, and then I will do my very best in the second one, and yeah, let's see how far we can get, but it's always very close and vital to have a good race. So for sure we need to be first or second to get to the final.
What have you told Cristina about how to take this start?
I think she don't need so much training. She's a smart girl, and she's also very fast. So I think she knows what to do, and see if she can play with the big boys.
She's rapid, isn't she? I'm looking forward to some battles out there. Thank you very much, Mattias. Best of luck to McLaren in this first race coming up in our second round of qualifying. I'm going to head through into the JBXE tent, and we're going to walk past the car, which is being patched up, of course, a bit of contact for them. A massive battle as well for Kevin Hansen and Andreas Backerud, the JBXE driver. Talk me through that battle earlier on with Kevin and what you've learned from that to take into this second round of qualifying.
No, obviously it was very muddy and greasy, so every time we came close to Clara, you know, you don't really see much. But I know she would have a penalty to serve, so we were kind of in the lead, trying to not destroy the car or anything like that. Unfortunately, I got passed by Kevin there and up in the, I think Amanda calls it the Talladega turn. And then I did the undercut, and we hit side by side and blew my tire. That was a bummer, and then, you know, it was just a little incident just before the takeoff, and put me in the river. Had to go around and back out on track. Yeah, it was a bummer, but...
So this is a track map for you, just to look at what they're actually going to start racing through. You've got the crag at the start of it, then you go up the hill into the Continental Traction Challenge, then the elbow, this large round course track action. That's in the yellow, that's denotes the Continental Traction Challenge.
It does indeed. Most of that section, Jenny, from sector number 3 all the way up to the elbow is uphill entirely. It's then downhill the whole way here, but with varying terrain. We've got a little jump on the way up the hill and on the way down the hill in the Continental Traction. Very steep downhill. Then you either split left for your second lap or you split right for the switch zone. Remember, the drivers do 2 laps each, and the rules now this year mean the male and female have to take an equal number of starts each, which is great to see a bit more action off the start between them.
Yeah, 2 points up for grabs each day for the Traction Challenge. Whoever goes fastest, both combined male and female time. that gets added together. So that's a helpful 2 points if you can do it and have a clean sweep of a weekend. That's a Brucey bonus, as I call it. So they'll come back down the Bray and down into the switch zone or to the finish zone, and you can really get the detail of the incline and how the track actually works when the cars are on it. Lovely. So that sets you up really nicely for all the action in Scotland. You can even see this little wind farm in the background. Let's remind you how Extreme E works.
Extreme E is a fully electric off-road racing championship consisting of 8 world-class teams made up of 1 male and 1 female driver. In each session, both drivers will compete behind the wheel of the Odyssey 21 electric SUV with a driver changeover, the switch, halfway through. Each driver gets an Inno or hyperdrive boost in every session, and there are bonus points for the fastest team through the Continental Traction Challenge part of the course. First up, it's qualifying, where everybody races twice in a bid to finish as high as possible in the qualifying standings. Then it's time to earn some championship points. From qualifying, the bottom 4 teams go into the redemption race, while the top 4 proceed to the grand final and compete to win the Prix and lift the trophy. It's a season-long battle. 10 rounds, 1 champion. Here we go then, Q2 coming up. The weather has changed slightly here in Scotland. It's a little bit drizzly. The rain has eased slightly as we come to the start line for this race 1 of Q2. But that will mean damper track conditions, and you can just see the roads all look a bit grayer, and that's one of the skills that we particularly see from rally drivers is reading the, look at that, the colour of the road. Oh, wow.
Bird of Prey in action.
Kind of feel a little bit sorry for the prey. I think, is that just a wing that's left of a seagull?
Yeah.
Goodness me.
Hope it doesn't get indigestion. Anyway, should we think about the racing?
Shall we?
Let's turn our heads from wings to gullies and racing.
Attention all teams. Stand by for the start of Hydro X3. Qualifying round 2, heat 1, is about to commence. Energize your systems and prepare to race.
So prepare to a race, and what a race we've got in store for you. As you can see, Acciona Science lines up with JBXE, lines up with Neon McLaren, lines up against Veloce. That is a powerhouse of a round for round 2, heat 1.
There is Sorensen getting ready to go in for JBXE. Starting drivers are Kevin Hansen, Andreas Backwood, Fraser McConnell and Christina Gutierrez. Remember, the teams swap between the heats based on the results from the first qualifying session if you're new to Extreme E, or if you can't remember after the big break. 15 seconds we're hearing. Molly Taylor's got the lid on. She is good to go. Taylor got cleaned out big time at the start of the previous one. It's left-hand side of your picture, Fraser McConnell, then Backwood, then Gutierrez. On the outside, Kevin Hansen for Veloce. Hansen's got a great start on the outside, inside and outside line both. Everybody used their hyperdrive on the run to the first corner. Trying to get through Andreas Backwood for JBX. He had a brilliant time in FP1 earlier on this weekend. First time he's been fastest in the car, and that's a fantastic whole shot for Backwood. You'll want to hold on to that. He had a brilliant race, if you remember, last time out against Kevin Hansen, who's in P2 with Veloce. They passed each other a couple of times. JBXE actually got a great result considering they had a puncture. The penalties for Sun Mini Mill for the contact on. Kevin looking up the inside. Means that they held on to P2 in their race. And it's an amalgamation of their results in Q1 and 2. Kevin in the back of Andreas, pushes him a bit wide, slides up the inside, backward, into the back of him.
Wowee, look at that. Veloce just by the side, and JBXE just coming through. The waypoint is going to be missed by Veloce. They've been pushed out. This is a messy sort of race. Both JBXE are in the lead, and Acciona Science actually in third, but Veloce just missed that. Oh, there's chunks flying flying off everywhere.
This is an old school. The Baccarat versus the Hansons is an old school World Rallycross battle that's gone on for a long, long time. They got into each other a couple of times there off the start. Kevin got pushed off the inside. It's up to the stewards to decide whether or not he could have made that gate or not. He now goes up the inside of Baccarat again.
Great move.
Just misses the flag. Baccarat goes back up the inside, contact between them. The JBXC machine almost up on two wheels. Brilliant, brilliant racing. Fraser McConnell, meanwhile, is just sitting in P3 for Axiona Science going, go on, lads. Knock the hell out of each other and I'll pick up the pieces.
Absolutely. They come down the hill now, so round this elbow, you can see all three of them so close together. Veloce, JBXC, Sainz, and then just off the back is Gutierrez for McLaren. But look, down this hill, how are they going to exit this run and turn round that start? They do 2 laps. This is the first lap. So look at Veloce. No rear body work, but it's not slowing them down at all through to the second turn.
Sights missing off the JBXC machine from the contact they had. Whatever Kevin did through that last sector down the hill, Jenny, was very impressive indeed. Taking risks where we saw Clara go off earlier. He's obviously got no fear of that spot whatsoever. He's just lit it up through there. They all, of course, used their Renault hyperdrive earlier, so we know it's not that. Gutierrez now is closing down the gap a little bit to Fraser McConnell in front.
That gap 3 seconds between Baccarat and the Veloce of Hansen. And I tell you what, the rain is actually helping, I think, to clear the windscreens so they can see a little bit more in those cars and just see what they're doing. It wasn't like that earlier. The mud was really sticking. But look, visibility not too bad as we go on board with the Axiona Science car.
Yeah, this is Fraser McConnell. That's his target in front. Is Andreas Backer and JBXE. Look at the rear bodywork on the Veloce machine. There was a lot of contact. We're seeing car 5. So Hansen is under investigation for the missed waypoint. I'll be really interested to see how that plays out, Jenny. If you get pushed off, what are you supposed to do? On the other hand, you have to go through the waypoints. That's the track marker.
To me, that's a 10-second penalty all day long.
Well,
but I'd like to hear their defence and being a fly on the wall and they try and say, you know what, I couldn't do anything.
There will be a defence too, won't there? You know what drivers are like. We always say we're very thankful to be commentators and not stewards, because stewarding is the hardest job ever. Kevin Hansen grits his teeth. He's going to come down the hill and hand over a fairly well beaten up car to his teammate Molly Taylor, and the 3 cars behind are so close, Jenny, coming into the switch.
Yeah, absolutely. I wonder if actually Hansen is trying to build that gap to just cushion himself in case they get a penalty. I think he's just tried to ease that out as much as he can, and you can see how much energy he's putting into this as they come into the switch zone.
I would like to be a fly on the wall when we see Andreas Backer and Kevin Hansen get out and head into this switch zone. I think words might be said. It was good racing, but this is from earlier on, so remember there's been a couple of moments already. There's Andreas getting to the back of Kevin. Kevin's off the side, and then Kevin comes back on. I mean, I'd argue Kevin could maybe have missed the back of Andreas there, but it's hard to tell. You know, I think they both gave as good as they got in the actual battle, Jenny. I kind of want to see it right from the start.
Such a good battle.
Old rivals, brilliant racing.
So bucket of water's been thrown over, so visibility is better in that number 5 car. So Hansen's given the steering wheel over to Molly Taylor, so she takes the drive. So it's Taylor versus Ekstrom versus Sorensen versus Sands.
Look at the little digital clock bottom left. You can see the little red clock ticking away, and the clocks down at the bottom of your screen are showing the switch time. So 45 is the minimum. So 45.6 is brilliant. And look, 45.4, 45.4. So 3 of the teams within 0.2 of the second. If they go under, then they get a penalty. I think it's 15 seconds plus any time gained. They're side by side, and here, basically, they're heading down through a 30km/h zone. They're not really allowed to do anything here.
I don't really understand how Sainz has managed to get ahead of JBXE, because that was a bit out of RG. So this is going to be intense when they start racing. Camera just a little out of focus.
Look how close it is.
Racing at 30km/h, it's like trolley racing at your supermarket. This is great. Line astern, they can't do anything else, but how are they going to apply the power? Anyone going to use their hyperdrive straight off the line?
So Ekstrom is at the back of this pack. He's going to take a glance left and right. They stretch out slightly as they cross over the line. Molly Taylor has a gap of some, what is it as we come through the first sector, 7.1 seconds.
Impressive.
Yeah, very impressive for her. But now Laia Sanz is in for Acciona Sainz. It's Amanda Sorensen who is in for JBXE, and Ekstrom at the back for McLaren.
Yeah, I've been really impressed by Sorensen and what she's been able to achieve. She wasn't in this car, this lineup last year. She was in the All-American of Chip Ganassi. So interesting to see what she can do. Hyperdrive deployed, and Noah Hyperdrive deployed for Acciona Sainz and for McLaren.
And that's up the hill. So we've talked about this before. There's various different outputs on the cars depending on the venue and the ambient temperatures and so on, but the hyperdrive is nearly always 400 kilowatts. So in Noah Hyperdrive, they get one use each per driver for 4 seconds, and it can really boost the acceleration of the car. Steep hills is where that big power will make a big difference, unless you want to use it for a pass. And look, Taylor and Sorensen, the little X's on the graphic on your screen tell you that they still have theirs left to use.
Oh, JBXE just going over a little bit of body work. I don't think that'll do anything to the tyres. Around turn 16, 5-second time penalty for car number 5. That's a missed waypoint number 11. That's the incident we were talking about on the first lap. So that's Hansen has got penalised for that.
Right, so Molly Taylor is 7.3 seconds up the road, Jenny, and they're going to get a 5-second penalty. So right now, Laia Sanz just needs to close that gap down by 2.5 seconds, and she'll take the win when they add 5 seconds at the end. So we'll keep an eye on where you'd say so. It's just gone up by 4/10, and now Ekstrom is really hunting. Look, so Ekstrom on Sorensen. Ekstrom in the orange-coloured McLaren Papaya, if you're a McLaren fan. The JBXE car, of course, is in Jensen's colours from when he won the F1 World Championship. And just in front of them, Acciona Sainz, Carlos Sainz's team.
And look at Taylor, she is stretching out her lead at the front. She wants that gap to be larger.
2 wheels for Sorensen there in the same place we saw the crash earlier. Ekstrom looking up the inside to the right-hand side. He might have a dive now to the left. Gets good turning into turn 2. Ekstrom trying to find the momentum to get alongside Sorensen as they go up the hill. You're on board with him now, the DTM legend, 2016 World Rallycross champion, Dakar driver. He is one of the ultimate all-rounders, and he's trying to find a way past Amanda Sorensen, who's a bit of an off-road racing legend herself. He dives up the inside, but she finds better traction. He won't do it there.
No, not to be done there, but look at that. I mean, he's hounding her all the way. It's great to see. Around again, turn 9, all over the back of her. Can he get through there? It's just really hard to overtake here.
They're allowing Sands to get away here, so this where this pressure's being applied, and he's having to try and fight them off. Oh, we're hearing a penalty from McLaren now as well. They've dropped a waypoint down at waypoint 20.
We're here all the way, so Ekstrom just trying to get on that grass and just come past Sorensen, but really struggling to get that.
This is a shame, isn't it?
Third place.
Even if he gets through, Jenny, with a 10-second penalty, that's not going to happen. So it's all about that gap at the front, 7.4 between the leaders and P2, and it's holding steady. Molly Taylor has done a great job here. She's going to come down and hopefully be able to hold on to that gap at the line.
Yep, so they come down to the line at the moment. You can see it's the Molly Taylor of Veloce coming down the hill. She'll take the win, but who's going to be in the battle for second, third and fourth? So Taylor nails the end of this finish line. She takes the win, so it's a win for Veloce, but who will get it in second place? JBXE coming down, so Sainz gets second, and then in third place, JBXE, and fourth place, McLaren, and those penalties will rack up. And so, look at that very happy face for Molly Taylor. Not only did she win that heat, but she did it with enough time to protect them from that 5-second penalty that they got for that waypoint flag.
Yeah, 1.9 the margin in the end, Jenny. So, yeah, brilliant job. She gave up half a second in that last sector, but I think everyone's going to be a little bit careful now. If you've got the gap, you know, why risk it? Shame for McLaren dropping that waypoint marker. We didn't see that. But, yeah, a cleaner race than we saw. Well, I suppose the first race was still a bit carnage. First lap was still a bit carnage.
I love going on board with these drivers just after a race. You can really get a feeling for how hard they've had to try. Let's go to the command centre and speak to Kevin Hansen, who's just there. He's watching his co-driver, Molly Taylor. Kevin, great win. Well done.
Yeah, it was great. It was really tricky from the outside in the start, but I managed to pull up a good one. I was really close to Andreas up the hill and was able to do a good pass. Almost flipped And I was thinking of my team managers and team bosses when I was on 2 wheels, and I thought, better keep this down on the wheels. And then backward came like a rocket and pushed me inside the waypoint, and I really tried to slow down and get back, but it was no chance. So I had to cut the waypoint. We got a penalty for that, which I think is a fair one. And then I was able to overtake him into another one. So really fun race that first lap. Overtake backward twice in one day is always fun. And Molly did a great job to keep that gap towards the end of the race and bring home the win.
Old rivalry, isn't it, between you and Timmy and Andreas, of course, from World Rallycross days, Kevin. There was lots of changes of position out there. It looks like the track is good for racing.
Yeah, the track is great for racing. I'm really enjoying it out there because there's a lot of fun opportunities. And when it's back-to-back corners, it's like you never know where anyone is going to show up. So it's really fun. I'm enjoying it big time. And the Eon Next Veloci Racing car has been great all weekend. Such great pace, and I'm so confident in the car. So, but in the end of the day, it's extreme here. Anything can happen, as we know. So going to the main final, I hope we have great grid play votes and we can have a pole position.
Well done. That's amazing work. Congratulations to both you and Molly going forward.
Yeah, thanks guys, appreciate it.
So all smiles from Kevin Hansen. They're very happy with their result, of course. P4 for Gutierrez and Ekstrom after a 20-second penalty for a down flag. Backward and Sorensen, lots of action on that first lap, but P3 is the result. Will that be enough to see them in the grand final? McConnell and Sands stayed out of trouble for P2. And 1.95 was the gap here for Veloci, with the win for Hansen and Taylor despite a 5-second penalty for a down flag. A brilliant job by them. Right, we're going to go down to the command centre now and we can speak to Fraser McConnell, and I'm confident, my Jamaican friend, that you are in the final. So you had a P, you were sitting in third in the standings and you've had a P2 there. That should be enough, shouldn't it, to see you and Elias Sands go through to the grand final here in Scotland?
Hopefully, you know, my engineer was on my radar telling me that second place is more than safe. So, you know, didn't really want to risk anything and, you know, make any silly mistakes. So knew we were safe in second place. Laya, you know, made it even extra safe by doing that little move in the switch zone, which was nice and exciting to watch from the side. So the team is feeling good. As Jonas Science XC, we're sipping up on our Red Bull and looking forward to the final.
Nice mentions. Just tell us, what's the track like out there? Because it looks like it's really good fun.
Yeah, it's a bit different to last year. You know, we've taken out the quarry section and it's more grass now, so really slippery when it's wet, and when it's dry, it's, you know, mega grip. So the teams are having to adjust the cars, you know, on the fly, trying to anticipate what it's going to be like out there. But, you know, we've found some pace, but, you know, the magic setup hasn't come together yet, but we're going to do it for the final and put on a show.
Fraz, we've got about 10 seconds. Is there a tartan for McConnell, is what we want to know.
There is. My steward in the tent has been showing me the tartan. It's like a greeny blue with some black. So, you know, if we get onto the podium, if anybody has a tartan, a McConnell tartan, just throw it my way. I'll go head up there.
Brilliant. Almost Jamaican colours. The very best of luck to you and Lyra in the grand final later on today. Well done to both of you. Good stuff.
Thanks, guys. Big up, everybody.
Just got to love Fraser McConnell. I want to see them all in kilts on the podium. The Anoa hydrogen fuel cell is the primary source of energy creation for the paddock, charging the Odyssey 21 race cars. Next year, we will see a first in motorsport with the exciting arrival of Extreme H. We went to launch a couple of weeks ago. It was amazing, and I hope you'll join us on this journey next year. Here's a little reminder of what you can expect.
Extreme E is changing to become Extreme H, the world's first hydrogen-based racing series.
Everything is new. We're exploring uncharted waters. We are discovering new things every day about Extreme H.
The power is more impressive. Acceleration still very fast. We can see that with hydrogen we are able to do more laps, more distance compared to the electric car.
The Extreme H fuel cell will be powered by green hydrogen, created using solar and hydro energy.
To extract hydrogen from water, we need to split the molecules. Next, we mix the hydrogen and oxygen in their gas form in a fuel cell. Now, inside there, a specific electrochemical reaction takes place that creates electricity, which we store in the battery for later. Now, the best part of all is that the only byproduct of this entire process is water. This is the Pioneer 25, the brand new race car for Extreme H. Everything on this car has been beefed up, and we've got this incredible suspension from Fox Racing. It's fitted with a live valve, which means the drivers from their seating position can adjust the car while they're driving it. At the top here, we've got 2 hydrogen fuel tanks. They hold 25 litres or a kilo of hydrogen in each. That powers the Symbio fuel cell. The Symbio fuel cell then creates electricity which goes into the battery and allows us to unleash 400 kilowatts of total power down onto the racetrack. The new car has an adjustable steering column and adjustable seat. With gender equality in Extreme E, it means when you've got 2 drivers of very different heights, they can both get the optimum driving position. It's faster, it's greener, it's stronger. We've even been told it jumps better.
We still have a lot of testing to do. For the kilometers we have now on that car, it's more than 3 seasons with the Extreme E car, so it's a good sign.
After years in the planning and initial testing in France, the Extreme H car was launched in London. The Pioneer 25 arrived in style.
We're on board the St Helena in London. This is an incredible moment for us, launching Extreme H, and we're about to see the brand new car. It's defining a completely new era of motorsport.
I invite all of you to follow us in our new adventure, Extreme H. Thank you.
Lots more testing to do, including here in Scotland. Extreme H will change motorsport as we know it.
We see plenty of thrills and spills in Extreme E, but what we saw earlier with Clara Anderson was a big one. And of course, you crashed here in Scotland last year as well, another big role. Firstly, we are so glad to see that you're okay. You're out the car and you're here standing next to us having a chat. How are you feeling? And talk us through the crash from the driver's seat.
Yeah, it was quite a shame, really. The pace was really, really nice and wasn't pushing so hard. Unfortunately, hit the bump down the hill in the last corner, put the front wheel in the air, and you have so much load on the right-hand side of the car, and yeah, just a shame, really. I'm really, really sad about it, but the guys have done such an amazing job, so fingers crossed that we make it out now.
Timo, I'm going to come to you for the car. We've had Axiona Science helping you guys out. I think Andretti have been in amongst it as well. This whole paddock rallying around for you. You've also had this notebook out, which has got a to-do list. Earlier on, I saw you with Kit Kats, literally just shoving them in mechanics' mouths, saying, "Eat, have sugar, have sugar." How big an effort is this to get this car ready for qualifying?
Well, the effort was amazing. I never have seen that in my entire life in racing, that this can happen or was happening. Thanks to the rest of the paddock, especially to Axiona. They've been like a big part of that. And special thanks to the guys. They've been like working flat out the last 3 hours now or 2 hours. And that the car is back on track, most likely, hopefully, still not done yet, but we hope we make it. It's pretty close, but we try.
And Clara, you're obviously going to take the start should this car get out for qualifying too. Mentally, how are you going to do that? Bounce back from what was a huge role on a course in which you crashed last year as well, and take the start against the likes of Johan Kristoffersen?
Yeah, I mean, I'm used to this game now, so you learn and forget most of the things. What I bring with me is the pace was really amazing, so I hope I can give you a good fight and hand over to Timo in a good position.
Yeah, we have no doubt. Well, you're used to fighting Johan as well, of course, in rallycross. Timo, you had so much pace earlier on. That's the positive to take from this. Should that car be fighting fit, we know that you two are.
Yes, definitely. So after Sardinia, we had such a rough time in between to analyze everything, but to be here and to see that we're on pace and we are back there where we thought we should be, it's just an amazing feeling. It's good to feel that. Now we have to get Bumblebee back in shape, and then this little nice girl next to me will send it all in. She said, just to explain the mindset, she came, I want to go out there today and I want to drive the car and want to give them the money for the ride. So very nice. So she is on fire.
It's amazing. It's amazing to see the dynamic between you two as well, how much you support each other. Thank you very much. Clara, big thanks to you. I'm so glad you're okay. Best of luck for qualifying, and well done to the mechanics as well. Oof.
Welcome back to Scotland, Q2 Race 2. Look at that mist in the distance. The rain has stopped, but we've got some fantastic news for you. The very brightly coloured Sun Mini Mill car, you can see it on the left-hand side of the grid from this shot, is on the grid. And if you saw what we call a hype montage just a few moments ago, the last shot was Clara Anderson binning it into 100,000 bits just to the right of where you're looking now. She had a massive crash at the end of that session. After crossing the line in P2 with a penalty, they might have been dropped further back, I think, to P3, thanks to another penalty. But unbelievably, the team, with some help from around the paddock, have got that car back to the line, and I just think it's a great story. Yeah, Neil McLaren and Acciona Science have really helped them out, the guys at Spark as well, and the list of things that needed doing on that car that Timo wrote was immense, but somehow they have managed to get through them. And Clara Anderson lines up in that car to take on the start of her life. It's so brave to get back in that car after a big crash. Yeah, absolutely. You have to, they always say, don't you, fall off the horse, you've got to get back on it. In this case, it's more than one horse. We have about 400 odd horses that she's back on. Let's go.
Attention all teams. Stand by for the start of R.03. Qualifying round 2, Heat 2, is about to commence. Energize your systems and prepare to race.
I need a better voice, Jenny. That voice. I want that voice. Imagine that voice for commentary.
Your voice is very nice.
Thanks,
as
mate.
it is, and we couldn't do it without you, Andrew Foley.
Thank you very much.
You saw Timo Scheider there, just looking on.
Quite serious, wasn't he? It's been a stressful couple of hours for that team. The boys, he said the boys are on fire, and he meant how hard the squad were working to get the car back together. Yeah, they've done a really, really good job, and you can see the concentration now in the Vodafone Command Centre up to its highest. Countdown is on. So you've got Sun Mini Meal, RXR, Andretti Tequila, and Legacy Motor Club. They are all taking place, and at the driver's seats you've got Ray Ledbetter, Katie Munnings, Johan Kristoffersen, and Clara Anderson. They are lining up to take the start. There we go, you can see them all there. The yellow of Sun Mini Meal, green and black of RXR, white and orange car indicates Andretti Tequila, and gold and black for the Legacy Motor Club. So 10 seconds on the board, wipers on, light drizzle. And it's green in Scotland. They are racing, everyone using their Renault Hyperdrive off the start line. You can see that yellow Sun Mini Meal car taking the inside line. RXR seems to have a really good line into that, and they've taken the whole shot from everyone else. Can the Legacy Motor Club get into third, or Sun Mini Meals can keep it? It looks like Sun Mini Meals can keep it. Legacy right behind them, and then at the back it's Andretti Tequila. Great start for RXR. Absolutely amazing. Aggressive from Kristoffersen, moving across from P2 to the inside line. Put the car up on two wheels, but did what he needed to do. He got there before Clara Anderson on the inside. The Sun Mini Meal car looks good. Sometimes we've seen cars make it to the line and then not get off the line well because the job isn't finished. But the team have obviously done a fantastic job. As you look at Gray Ledbetter, she, of course, has her new teammate Patrick O'Donovan this weekend, who was the championship driver. Tommy Howman takes that role this weekend. Patrick really excited. We'll talk about him when he gets back in the car, but he is now under some serious pressure. Ledbetter is under pressure from this girl, Katie Munnings. Yeah, Katie Munnings is a class act, and she wants to get back. She's losing a bit of that grass again, just to gain a bit more traction over the water jump. Looks like Beaches Brook or something from going around the Grand National. But she's... Love it, Jenny. Love it. Know, find the words, use them. RXR out in front, a lead there, a little lead. 3.7. Yeah. 2 seconds between Sun Mini Meal and Legacy. So Gray Ledbetter, I might have mentioned last time she was 19. We had quite a lot of fun on social media after that. I mentioned it so much. Actually, her and Patrick now make the youngest ever driver pairing in this series. Good to see Gray Ledbetter back, and good to see her on the pace again. Absolutely. And I can tell you, Katie Munnings is wanting this, and she is tackling Gray Ledbetter. Remember, they do 2 laps around this course, then switch, and then another 2 laps with the other driver going in. And you can
just see the intention on Johan Kristoffersen. He is absolutely giving it full beans as he sends it up the hill.
Katie in the background took a slightly different line into the right-hander at the top of the hill to give her a bit more speed down the hill. She's trying to close that gap down. It's only 1.1 seconds between them. She takes a wider line through turn 2. Look now again, more exit speed. Just get as close as she can. You ride on board now with Munnings. Wipers on. Spray's going full time just to try and keep the screen clear. We know, remember, they upped the size of the water bottle on the cars to allow them to use the wipers for longer.
Yeah, because the visibility in these cars is pretty bad. I was in them once, and we went through mud, and we went through a bit of rain, and yeah, it was scary stuff. So actually driving out there, using that handbrake, using all the steering as she can, that number 27 car, just trying to get inside the Legacy Motorsport Club, but can't find any way through. Is there room on the outside now as she tries to do the other direction?
You can just see Katie reach for the handbrake as well with her right hand. It's the lever that stands up. Again, she crosses the grass. So that's the exact same line she took on the last run round.
I'm not sure that's actually gaining her any time.
Yeah, interesting, isn't it? Looking at it, when the gap's 1.2, so it's changing barely in between each of these sectors. It's the gap between them is tiny. Now down to a second. Look now, bottom left of your screen, you can see the interval in between the various different cars.
RXR pulled out a really big lead at the moment, 9.4 seconds ahead of everyone.
Jenny, I think it's worth noting Sun Mini Mill was sitting in P5 on 6 points here. If they managed to hold on to P2 here, I know we're a little way off that. Clara doing a brilliant job to bring that car home, remember, to the switch. After that massive crash, she's jumped straight back in it and got straight back on the pace. We had a couple of video messages with her, didn't we, in between times. She went for medical observation. She's just coming in P2. If they hold on to that, I think they'll make the final, and that will be an incredible result for everybody who put so much into repairing that car.
What a story, what a story. You can just see there, it's Johan Kristoffersen handing over to Michaela Arling-Kotlinski. So they use inserts in the seats. So they pull the insert out. They'll probably not be speaking English, I'm guessing, because they don't want to give anything away.
Swedish, yeah.
Then Michaela jumps in. She's got her seat mould, so they can actually reach the pedals, reach the steering wheel, and have the height that they need. Let's look down there, the switch time. You can see it ticking by. 45 seconds is the minimum they have to stay in there for.
And we saw two teams do 45.4 in the previous session, which is brilliant when you think about it. Water pouring into the cars, they take that bucket of water and chuck it over the front. That, again, is to try and save some of the water which is on board the vehicle. If you're not familiar with how off-road racing vehicles are, why haven't RXR gone? They're on 45. They have 45.2. I saw the clock had stopped, but hadn't seen the car moving. So yeah, off-road racing vehicles, they let the wiper motor run, the squirter motor run the entire time that they're on. 44.9 it's saying for Sun Mini Mill, which would be a penalty. So have they gone out early, or is that just our graphic? If they've gone early, that's devastating, and I'll be gutted for them, because a tenth of a second is not worth it. But if they have gone a tenth early, I think it will be a 15-second penalty plus any time gained, which will be 1:10.
Let's hope it's just our time
That's what I'm hoping.
that. Well,
let's
look
ignore
at the
that
race control
graphic.
board.
Let's ignore it, race control. Come on, we've got to see them through.
They've been through so much.
Oh, if they miss out by a tenth, no. Anyway, I can't. Let's get back to it.
Right, Rosberg gets racing. Look how high they've gone to get round that turn one with as much efficiency as they possibly can, getting as much speed into turn 2 and up that hill.
Yeah, great
Impressive.
line from Arling-Kotlinski. She just needs to hold on to this gap. It's 10.5 now.
That's a good gap at the moment. Then Sun Mini Mills, you can see there. Oh, look, Andretti have overtaken Legacy, because that's happened just after the switch zone. So Munnings handed over to Hansen, and O'Donovan took the steering wheel from Ledbetter. They've switched.
They have indeed. So how far back is O'Donovan? We heard from Patrick. Here he is, Patrick O'Donovan now. So double British Rallycross champion. He won last year, actually not doing all the rounds. He's won a couple of rounds of the European Rallycross Championship. He's been on the podium, the World Championships. He's a very good driver, but Patrick's been the championship driver, which is a reserve driver. One male and one female. The females we've often seen in And then the guys at McConnell was a championship driver, remember, so lots of our drivers have come up that way. What Patrick was messaging us saying in between the sessions was, look, I want to do a good job, I want to go as quick as I can, but I also don't want to damage the car because that gives you a bad rep. And he said, yeah, when we do the rides, for the passenger rides as a championship driver, we drive at 90%. Now suddenly he's got to go at 100%. He said it's like trying to learn a car on the job. It's really tough.
It's giving the game away. Everyone thinks they're going at full beat.
Well, you see,
100%.
Actually,
yeah. Just think, you go faster.
Yeah, the extra 10% is where the risk comes in. And a passenger ride where you go over is not quite as much fun, is it? There is O'Donovan now.
For you, I would think it was more fun.
Well, I'll give it a whirl, but I mean, yeah, I'll say if Johan Kristoffersson could get to last year, when I think at the time he rolled, he had 5 World Rallycross Championships without rolling ever in his career until he came to Scotland, believe it or not. I think I'll take the non-rolling option.
Michaela Arlen-Kotelinski leads at the moment. The gap is down to 7.2 seconds. Timo Scheider trying to close in. Remember that massive accident last time out, and they have rebuilt that car and rebuilt their hopes of going through in this championship.
They have indeed. At the minute, you might be glad to hear our timing screens in commentary are not showing an investigation for a switch zone infringement. So it may be, we're hoping, that it was our graphic that's out by 1/10 of a second and not their clocks.
Don't mention it anymore,
I know,
Andrew.
commentators curse, I know.
No, you just flag it up to race control. Don't do that. So you can see there, Legacy Motor Club at the back. They're trying to hunt down Timmy Hansen in the Andretti. Then it's Timo Scheider in the Sun Mini Meal car. Closing that gap to almost 5 seconds now. And Rosberg X Racing, Michaela Arlen-Kotelinski out front and doing what she does best in this number 6 car.
Yeah, the reigning champions, of course, brilliant title fight. We're hearing no switch infringements from race control, which is good. We are hearing that the Legacy Motor Club team are under investigation for a dropped flag. But we are focusing on the RXR here. You can see Michaela Arlen-Kotelinski in the target of our clever little graphic there, coming down the hill towards the last couple of corners. They came into this race, Jenny, in P7 out of 8 in the standings. They hadn't lost a qualifying race so far this season. Saudi Arabia, they won them all. They were P1, I think, in the first Saudi race. They were P4 in the second, and it looked like they weren't going to make the final. But as the champions do, look, if they take 10 points from here, you'll see they'll get through on 14, and I think they'll win they'll win that based on the Continental Traction Challenge. So it's going to be close. There's 3 teams on 14 points. At the minute, it looks like RXR with this win are just going to scrape through to the final. Sun Mini Mill, will they make the cuts? Well, I didn't see enough on the graphic to remind myself. Here comes Andretti Autokeeling through in P3, and we'll top the points up and find out who has made the cut. O'Donovan coming down towards the finish line, just a little way off the back of the pack, turns the car through the left-hander, and he crosses the line to wrap things up. So, what was it, Jenny? Did you look at the graphic to see where Sun Mini Mill were? I want to see the graphic again for the points.
Do you know what? I didn't.
No, I know,
I was looking
on where
for the
RXR
Continental
were.
Traction Challenge and
We need to see
tossing up
it
that
again.
point.
We need to see the standings for the 2 qualifying sessions again if we've got them. We're trying to figure out whether Sun Mini Mill have made the cut. There's the Traction Challenge, so Sun Mini Mill are in P6 on that.
Interesting, Veloce have managed to go fastest with a 120.119.
Yeah,
so that's a big change.
RXR are third, Jenny. They were tied with 3 different teams on 14 points, so I'm assuming that the 2 in front of them were not one of those 3 teams, Acciona, Sainz and Neil McLaren, because that order there on the Traction Challenge is what gives you the order for if you've got equal points in qualifying. So it's really important to get a good time in there.
Whether they're through or not, I would just want to congratulate everyone at Sun Mini Mills. And I tell you what, that is the best thing about motorsport. Everyone comes together in a crisis moment and helps to rebuild a car, helps to rebuild a motorhome, whatever it is, it's special.
Results then of this one, O'Donovan and Ledbetter in P4 for Legacy Motor Club. For Andretti Autokeeling, Munningson, Hansen P3, Anderson and Scheider brilliantly P2 for Sun Mini Mill. And for RXR, Kristoffersson and Arlen-Kotelinski take the win. Let's go down and have a chat with Johan Kristoffersson, who's managed to pull it out of the bag again. There's a reason this guy's won quite a few championships. Johan, that wasn't the start to the weekend that you wanted earlier on, but you and Michaela have pulled off a great run there. You got a fantastic start, mate. Talk us through it.
Yeah, the takeoff was very equal, I think, in between all 4 cars, but then I just had a little bit more, a better angle than Clara. just like last week Saturday in Rallycross. So managed to get ahead of Clara into T1, and I think that was crucial because it was a tricky. The track was also very tricky to drive. I started to drizzle a little bit when we were on the start line, so I knew the super sector were very important. So yeah, but I had a good run. It's difficult. I was maybe a bit too cautious on the second lap in super sector, so my first lap was a little bit better, and then gave the car to Michaela, and she managed to pull that one back home with a good super sector time as well. So I think we are through.
Yeah, you were showing us 4th out of the 8th, but there were 3 teams on 14 points, and you were at the top of those 3. So that will be based on the Champion Challenge. We're waiting on final results here as well, mate, but I think you've done it.
What's the trickiest part of that course at the moment?
Difficult question, but I think it is quite a lot of driving into the track. I would say it's a lot of corners to corners, and it's a little bit like if you get one wrong, the next couple of corners will be affected as well. So I think that's the tricky part about the track, and there is a few places like that. And at the same time, this grass is also changing a lot in grip level. So if you're too cautious going on into the first of this section of corners, then you feel like you would like to push a little bit more in the next one, but then that one might be a little bit more slippery. So
yeah, it's
in
really
one
hard
way, it's
then.
just easier to go out and drive fast, push, and that's it.
Thank you, Johan. Yeah, well done, mate. Best of luck for the rest of the day. We're going to take a look at the standings and find out if you're in.
Let's have a look at the qualifying points then. You can see Veloce in 1st place, Sainz in 2nd, 3rd for Andretti, and look at that, 4th place, 14 points for RXR, JBXE and Sun Mini-Wheel. But importantly, RXR had the fastest Continental Traction Challenge time, so they go through, and the rest of the teams go to the redemption race.
Well, here is some of our best bits. They do that in things like the X Factor, don't they, Jenny? But well, I'll tell you what, there was some X Factor out there this morning, wasn't there? There were some fairly interesting starts. This is the action, I think, from Q2 rather than Q1, where we saw the real carnage. Everybody had calmed down a little bit by this session.
I think once you have one of those big incidents and big smashes, then everyone just dials it back in. But the battle between these two at the head of the pack was immense. It was so good watching them.
Yeah, Kevin Hansen and Andreas Backer, as we discussed earlier on. It's a rivalry that runs pretty deep and quite long now. Many, many years they've been alongside each other in the World Rallycross Championship. And of course now for a couple of seasons in Extreme E as well, since Backer joined, and Kevin's been here right from the start. Sun Mini-Wheel, how good to see them get that car back out. Yeah, absolutely fantastic job by them. Brilliant start by Kristoffersson, as we just heard from him. Got it hooked up and just drove away.
He obviously enjoys this course, enjoys the demands of it. You get some drivers that really want to be challenged, and he's one of those. He just loves going out there and showing exactly how much he can drive that car.
Yeah, I loved how long he took to come up with an answer for that one. So another one of the old Rallycross rivals, Timmy Hansen, had a catch-up with Laura in the paddock earlier.
Andretti Autokila are through to the grand final. A brilliant win, first up, then a 3rd place, puts you through safely. Timmy Hansen, talk me through the racing, the conditions out there and how challenging it is.
It's been very changing conditions. We got that first win in the first heat that was kind of wet. Now it looks drier. We're kind of hoping for it to rain. I think we're faster if it's wet. But yeah, I got the outside line for the start to see if I can get ahead.
How much would it mean to win here? Certainly for Katie as well, kind of home soil as a British driver.
Yeah, we've got some catching up to do after last year. We crossed the line first, but we picked up a switch zone penalty. So we came second in the end, in that one. But it feels like we've done it here before. But it's all about that start. I think it's kind of hard to pass. You've got to put in a big effort to pass one car. So if you don't come out first or second, it's going to be tough. But yeah, we'll see.
You've got a slightly different strategy as well, a sort of reverse strategy to the rest of the guys and the girls in that final. How do you think that will play to your advantage?
It's hard to say. Like, the girls are super fast. Like, you can't really think of it as girls and boys anymore. You got to just race the racers, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm for sure not going to leave anything out there. I'm going to go flat out, but it's not like it's going to be easy for me because I'm against 3 girls. They're also super quick. Like Laia has been flying today, is super quick. So yeah, I'm just going to give it everything and see what I can do.
And it's been brilliant to watch Andretti fight. I know you said you feel like you've already got this one done and got it over the line. How will you do it, though, again, here this afternoon?
Yeah, it's just full attack. It depends on this first corner, I think. So I need to do something clever there.
Thank you very much, Timmy. Best of luck.
Well, he's going to need to figure out what that clever thing is once they figure out, of course, where they end up from grid play, which is the fans voting for their favourite teams. Then they apportion those votes. If you don't make the final, you can give them to one of your mates and see where it comes out.
Sun Mini Mill obviously having a lot of support from everybody else. They didn't get through to the final, but they got a lot of votes. So this is how the grid lines up for later. Looks good. And your dream team so far, it is Timo Scheider and Molly Taylor. Those are the fastest man and woman out on track. What a combo. And that's how they break down. Fastest females, fastest males. And they're battling each other all the way to the fastest time out there. Dreamy.
Yeah, fantastic stuff. Of course, the quickest pairing together will win the Continental Traction Challenge, which will give them another couple of points. 20 points up for grabs if you manage to get all 10. And you know, I was about to say these guys wouldn't have got it, but they could have got it in that race because they crashed after the finish line. It was a monstrous moment for them. Some brilliant racing between Hansen and Backwood already today. We've seen how the grid plays out. Slot number 1 that Timmy Hansen is in is maybe not the one you want to be in, Jenny. All to play for. A couple of people knocked tyres off rims. Going to be brilliant as we come to the conclusion of round 3.
Do you know 4 females would have made the male list? This is really great progression when it comes to of male and female drivers pulling each other up to be the best.
Scotland then for round 3 of Extreme E 2024. We are in Dumfries and Galloway, racing in an old coal mine, grass, mud and gravel. We had some brilliant action so far. If you haven't been with us, we're going to go for the redemption race and the grand final. My name's Andrew Coley. Jenny Gow is alongside me in commentary. Laura Winter is reporting from the paddock. Jenny, it's been a great weekend so far. 2 races to go today, and then we do it all again tomorrow. So hopefully not too many more crashes as the afternoon goes on.
Oh, no, come on. Where's your fighting spirit? I don't mind them. And
You're
Laura,
not repairing the cars.
Well, that's true. Sorry. We've had so much, as you say, great action. We've had weather into it as well. We've had so much in the mix. And this has been the story of the day. You can see here the Sun Mini Mill car, Clara Anderson in it, getting head over tail and on down that little hill.
Unbelievable the roll cage wasn't damaged in that. The team had to work extremely hard. I think it was Axiona Science who helped them out as well. Yeah, they took the win. They would have had a penalty. Then they rolled the car. Andretti Altakila got the next one. This was the race that we mentioned earlier between Hansen and Backwood. Gutted for JBXC. They've had a better weekend. They've really struggled recently, and they look like they might make it through to the final, but they haven't made the cut, and neither has Sun Mini Mills. So those two, I think, are going to be the ones to watch in the redemption race. But the grand final, it's anyone's, really.
Oh, it's a good grand final. Andretti, RXR, Veloce, Axiona Science, they'll all be in the final and all trying desperately to win those points for the day. And the championship is really close at the moment, so all to play for. 41 points with RXR leading the way at the moment.
What a day it has been for Sun Mini Mill. This car has been through an awful lot, a huge roll and crash for Clara Anderson earlier on. And the mechanics, many mechanics across the entire paddock working so hard to get it out there ready for qualifying. Equal on points with 2 other teams, Timo Scheider, but not quite enough to get into that grand final. Can you sum up your emotions just heading into this redemption race?
Pretty difficult, to be honest. First of all, I'm super glad that Clara was okay after the big one. And then afterwards, I was quite emotional and positive emotional that the guys got the car back in one piece. And in Q2, it was, again, quick, even though bits and pieces hanging off the car still. But yeah, in the end, we didn't make it to the final, which is a pity. But yeah, we take the positive out of this. After Saudi, we had a hard time, and we didn't know what we've had in Saudi because we had no pace there. And right here from day one, we are on pace. And even though we had the big roll now, the pace is here, and that's why we are happy, actually.
It was an amazing effort. Best of luck to you in the redemption race. And I think the build on that car has very much seen the absolute best of this Extreme E paddock and what it's all about. And we are very glad as well that Clara Anderson is okay. So from one of the most experienced drivers on the grid to one of the youngest, and it's a party in here. Ray, how are you feeling ahead of this redemption race? Getting stuck in out there alongside new teammate Patrick O'Donovan.
We're feeling really good. We're actually made up a lot of time that time, and we're on pace. So the parties went away. That's disappointing. No, we're on pace, and that makes me feel really confident about being on pace on day one. So now obviously we're in the redemption race, but if we keep the car in one piece, I feel pretty good about it.
Yeah, plenty of learnings to have today, of course, to take into tomorrow too, because we go again then. Thank you, Gray. Best of luck to you.
Well, each of our Prix explores a different environmental theme, from desertification, wildfires and the melting ice sheets to name but a few. The theme for the Hydro Prix is energy, a field in which Scotland and Extreme E are pioneers.
Scotland's part of a whole collection of Northern Hemisphere land areas that are experiencing steep warming. And the Northern Hemisphere land areas are warming so much faster than anywhere else on the planet, but also seeing a shift in rainfall. We're seeing more rainfall delivered in shorter periods of time, and that imposes a great stress on the environment. And we expect that trend to continue way out until the end of the century. The reason that we have climate change is because of carbon emissions, because of energy and transport needs. Solving the climate problem at source requires us to generate energy in a different way, and through renewables in the case of electricity. And we're proud to say that in the case of Extreme E, our race site has 100% of its needs met with renewables.
So we've got behind me the Anoa hydrogen fuel cell that's powering the site, along with the solar panels that are on the floor. The Extreme E paddock powered setup is a world first. The primary sources of energy on the site comes from the solar panels and the Anoa hydrogen fuel cell. The energy generated from those two sources is stored in the batteries that are on site before it goes out to the whole site, powering the Extreme E cars in the garages, catering, hospitality, event control, race control. And the rest of the site energy for the broadcast infrastructure comes from solar-powered systems into the batteries. And then we've got live monitoring, and it helps us, A, see if there's any problems, and also future-proof the event because we understand where the energy demands are going to grow.
Beyond 2024, the innovation will continue with Extreme H ready to thrill fans for Season 5, with a new generation of hydrogen-powered race cars.
I think everybody should be excited about Extreme H. This is the future of sport, entertainment, and the way that we can do this with extremely low or no impact on the environment. Hydrogen brings a significant advantage compared to direct electrification for all of these events. It allows the vehicles to run potentially longer range and have greater torque in the vehicles themselves. People are always going to be wanting to see how we can push ourselves further, faster, harder. But to be able to do this now with a zero-emission narrative is fantastic, and that's what Extreme H will allow us to do.
Scotland's one of the elite club of countries that produces an enormous amount of its electricity needs through renewables. In 2021, 97% of its electricity needs came from renewables. By 2050, its hopes are to decarbonise the energy needs completely. Scotland serves as a magnificent example that in a short space of time, with talent and skills and resource, you can solve the energy problem.
Amanda Sorensen back for this event. She joins Andreas Backer at JBX Vehicles. Last year she was alongside RJ Anderson at Chip Ganassi Racing. Nice to see the American back, and I think her and Backer, they look like having quite a lot of fun together on social media. A little edit that came out with some banging tunes on it.
And Cristina Gutierrez, she's now transferred over to the Neon McLaren Extreme E team, and she's going really well there. Let's find out a bit more about them.
Well, our redemption race is coming up very soon. Of course, last chance to score some points. It's been a tough day for McLaren. Cristina Gutierrez, a puncture early on in qualifying. How do you reflect on it?
Yeah, it was not an easy day, especially now Extreme E is a little bit difficult to be in the final, and if you have a little problem in one race, you will be a little bit disappointed because in the next one you should win, and sometimes it's not so easy. So fingers crossed for the next one to take a maximum points possible, and we'll see what happens.
How do you feel the course has been evolving, and what have you learned from qualifying to take into this redemption race for maximum points? Because there are still 12 available.
Yeah, it's difficult. The track is difficult because each time that we go to race is different. We have holes, we have mud. Depends on the humid. It's more mud, less mud, and you need to adapt in the moment that you are racing. So it's not an easy track, but that's why Extreme E is so intense, because you have this type of tracks and you need to be the best.
How important will the start be as well?
I think in this race is the most important moment, the start, because after the start, to overtake is super difficult here. So our maximum effort is to have a good start.
Thank you very much. Best of luck to you. And I know it's been a tricky day so far. Thanks for the chat, Christina. And another team in that redemption race is JBXE. They will equal on points with Sun and RXR as well, 14 points apiece, but just missing out. Amanda, how much have you enjoyed coming back into Extreme E, into this type of racing, the intensity of it? And I know just missing out on that grand final on your return.
Yeah, I definitely am enjoying being back in Scotland, so that's fun. Good racing out here. The energy is high here at JBXE. Andreas and I are just kind of taking it step by step, and today's race was about having a good starting ground moving forward. So, yeah, kind of bummed we didn't make it to the final. 5/10 off of making it, but it is what it is.
It is what it is. You have another chance there in the redemption race. What will you take into that from what you guys have learned together today?
We're actually still making car changes, and because, you know, we still have another day of racing, we're looking to set the car up to be fast tomorrow. So that's what we're going in with the mindset of just taking it as a learning chance.
Well, super impressive to see you back here and right back on pace as well, and bedding in well with Andreas Baccarat. Thank you very much, Amanda. Best of luck in the redemption race.
Thank you.
Attention all teams. Stand by for the start of the Hydro-X Prix. The redemption race is about to commence. Energize your systems and prepare to race.
So the command has gone out to the Vodafone Business Command Centre. The teams are ready for the redemption race. You've got Legacy, McLaren, Sun and JBXE.
Looking forward to this. We've got the only one of these teams that's actually made a final was Neil McLaren. They were in the final in the first round. They actually had a P2 there. So the other three teams are still looking to make that step. So they're, you know, any of them that wins this redemption race, it would actually be a best result for them. McLaren did win a redemption race when they didn't make the final last time out.
Right, start lights on. They'll be wanting a good start. They've all said that. Right, green light. And everyone uses that. And Noah hyperdrive first thing. Neil McLaren looking really good in the middle there. JBXE getting a tight line. They're up on two wheels. Sun goes through. Problem for Neil McLaren, but look at these two fighting for it. JBXE and Sun Mini Mills, they're going back into that barrier. It's a really hard fight at the moment, and it's game over for Ekstrom. Not a very happy birthday present for him tomorrow. I'm sorry for that. Neil McLaren are out of this race, and JBXE have the lead.
Yes, we saw contact with the hay bales, didn't we, for Timo Scheider as he ran wide in that contact. That's just a mechanical, isn't it, off the line? Something fairly catastrophic's gone wrong there, and that's a nice move. Patrick O'Donovan slots up the inside of Timo Scheider. So O'Donovan showing some pace for Legacy Motor Club. Now he's up behind Amanda Sorensen for JBXE. So Sorensen was good off the start, wasn't she? Getting into a proper scrap with Scheider. You ride on board now with Patrick O'Donovan. Legacy Motor Club looking to the inside. He's alongside the JBXE machine. O'Donovan here is properly going for it. Hooks the wheel on the grass. He's almost there, but Sorensen manages to shut the door sideways on the exit now for both of them. He's nearly there, and Scheider's there to pick up the piece as well. Here is Patrick now, takes a glance across to the right. Inside goes Amanda Sorensen into the right-hander. This flag's been down a few times. O'Donovan makes the cut back and makes the pass. That is a lovely move.
Amanda Sorensen, yes, she's going to try and go down the outside now, but what a great move. Patrick O'Donovan saying that he wanted to be faster, he wanted to find his feet in this car, and that's exactly what he's done. Great move from him.
Yeah, brilliant advert for his skills as well, Jenny. We know he was a bit disappointed with his pace. He's trying to feed his way in. He's a professional driver now, and you have to take an approach to this where you learn the car. You don't want to go in and do a bad job, and he's come in now and shown brilliant racecraft.
So, yellow flag at waypoint 1, so a slow zone will be in operation for this stricken McLaren. So all the drivers have to slow down from the waypoint they've just passed, waypoint 1, through to waypoint 2, just to make sure that there's no troubles on track. So you can see that McLaren there, you can see Mattias Ekström on the side, and now they're racing again.
Now, I'm going to be honest here. I think we could have got away with that. It's way off the racing line. I think it would have been fine.
You don't take a chance.
Yeah, come on.
Just don't take the chance.
Could have gone for that. Could have gone for that. Ekström was out in the car as well. I see him walking back now. Maybe he's going back to do a little reset on it. I remember in season 1 they used to do a lot, switch it off and switch it on again. But we're past those points now. And we have got Scheider all over the back of Amanda Sorensen, almost into the back of Amanda Sorensen. She goes over the crest. The rear end of the JBXE machine is pretty loose. It's costing Sorensen time. Scheider goes through with a bit of contact. But I thought he knocked the tyre off the rim there, Jenny. The contact was so hard.
I think JBXE have got a problem. Sorensen was much faster than this. Maybe it's a puncture. I don't know what's happened, but they're slowing down now. So it looks like it's a battle of just the two of them at the moment, O'Donovan versus Scheider, for this redemption race win.
So there's a gap of 5 seconds. JBXE have slowed and stopped at the side of the track, so that is a disaster for Sorensen and Backerud. It's a real shame, because I feel as a pairing, as I said earlier, they're having fun, and that little bit of contact has obviously caused some sort of a problem. So they're out of this one. What's your money on now, Jenny? It's 5 seconds and only 2 cars out there. It is a proper 2-horse race.
I tell you what, though, Sun Mini Mill have done so well to get their car back on track.
Agreed.
But they're going to have to do it all over again, because they've lost bits of bodywork. Yeah, it's only bodywork, but I don't know how much bodywork is left lying around for them for tomorrow's racing.
I've got a brilliant picture of Timo when we were doing some filming in between the races, and he was out the back on the phone, stood over all the broken bits of the car. I don't know if he was adding up the bill or ordering parts, but either way, yeah, it's a good, and I sent it to him. So look, rear arches are off it as well. In fact, they only wrapped some of those panels earlier on today. I suspect they've probably borrowed some from other teams to get it back out. O'Donovan with a great drive, nice passing. He hands over now to Ledbetter, and of course Scheider is handing over to Anderson. Now Anderson's got a bit more seat time than Ledbetter, so this could be an interesting race for the second half.
Yeah, don't think it's over, because it really isn't over. Waypoint 1, still a yellow flag, just to warn you. Right.
We might get one there as well, Jenny, on the second run. And whereabouts
I
did
don't think they've
Sorensen
managed
go
to
off?
move that, and Sorensen, as you say, is up. We're just getting a replay, actually, of
Is this where
Sorensen
is Sorensen moving again?
I wonder if she
I wonder if
has managed to
is
reset.
Sorensen moving again?
This is not a replay. Well, the drivers are in the switch lane. Right, so Ray Ledbetter is in the car. Patrick O'Donovan did a fantastic job for Legacy Motor Club.
And
so
fired
she's off, certainly. Ray Ledbetter is off. And so are the Sun Mini Mills. Clara Anderson going into that car now, taking over from Timo Scheider. She fought, she rolled, she's got back in the car. She's already done one round back in the car since that accident, and now she will fight for redemption for all it's worth.
Yeah, 6.1 was the gaps that came in. I'm just trying to see. Sorensen is ticking off. Sorensen's gaps are changing. Here she is, running. So she is still going. So she's got the JBXE machine going. She's coming into the switch zone now. So they're at least a minute behind. They're showing a minute 36 actually as they come into the switch zone. But that time hasn't changed much. So I reckon as after they've got the vehicle moving again, that actually, Jenny, it's in one piece. So if the front two took themselves out, that would be some redemption, wouldn't it, for JBXE?
But that never happens.
No.
Not in racing.
At the minute, it's Gray Ledbetter versus Clara Anderson out front with a gap of 6.1 between them. We'll keep an eye on that gap into the slow zone for this first time. Remember, this is going to be both laps, but we won't have a slow zone for the JBXE machine. You see, that's the screaming for a different reason. O'Donovan came out, didn't he? Absolutely stoked, and Amanda's come out. No, and I get it, the frustration, but with still a smile on her face.
Yes, they are back racing now. They get to waypoint 2 and start racing again. So Ray Ledbetter, 19 years old, against Clara Anderson, 24 years old. they've both got baggage coming into this because they both have a point to prove. It's just who will get there at the end. It's going to be a fight down. It's about 6 seconds, the gap between them at the moment.
Yeah, it went up to 6.5. I thought Clara was slightly later on the...
Oh, the door's come open.
Yeah,
the door is open now. We've seen this before. Will she be able to close it? She's on the other side of the car, so she won't be able to do that. So, will it stay on? Will it swing off? Who knows?
She's lucky it's not too dusty. That's the biggest issue, is following in dust. You start inhaling it to the point where you can't breathe. Now, if the water comes in that side... Oh, the door's gone down over the jump. Nicely done, Clara.
Oh, that's clever.
That's how you shut the door.
Let's hope it doesn't come open again, because it's quite muddy down there as well. You don't want a face full of mud. It's come open again.
4.7 seconds. The gap goes up to 5.2. It's changing by 0.5 of a second here and there.
Maybe it's adding to the downforce.
Well, I did wonder, and remember the lap here is only about 2.5k, and Ledbetter's coming round to the start of the last lap already. So the gap has only come down by around 0.8 at this point, and she's only got 1 lap to go. So Gray Ledbetter at the moment is looking like she's going to hang on to it. The team will be on the radio saying, come on, let's go.
What a result that would be for the Legacy. They're such a new team to this sport. They're still finding out how it works. Jimmy Johnson will be looking at this and screaming at the TV, going, come on, you've got this.
Yeah, they will indeed. So another lap to go as they cross over the line. Coming down now through those last couple, because you can see Clara through the door working away. There's no net on that side of the car because they're not worried about the driver's limbs coming out through there. So you have a safety net on the driver's side in case the door comes off. You don't need it on the passenger side because you're not that far over. The gap's 6.2, exactly what it was when we started. So Ledbetter's doing a good job here against Anderson, who's got a lot more seat time.
And she's just used her Inoa hyperdrive to go up the hill. We've spoken about this several times, haven't we? Using it to go up the hill is quite important.
Yeah, I think so, particularly when you're coming in. Remember, they're coming into the bottom of that hill, going very slowly because of where the slow zone is. That's the sort of information I reckon they would have given her potentially at the switch zone. Remember, they couldn't have planned that. Of course, she was close to that flag. Yeah. Come on now, Gray.
Keep it clean.
They wouldn't have planned that because they wouldn't have known there was going to be a slow load zone there. So that's probably a team decision made in the switch. Gray, save it, use it when you exit there. Good. It's definitely a good one. 6.3. Come on, Gray.
Whereas Clara, she's keeping it. She's keeping it to do a final attack, maybe, just to claw back some of that gap. It's down to 5.5 seconds between the two of them. She's nibbling away at that lead at the moment.
Now we get the Inoa hyperdrive for Clara Anderson. The gap
4
is
seconds of extreme power.
Yeah, 5.7 seconds, so it's not going to be enough.
It's not, but I tell you what, this is great for both of them to have that extra seat time, to not have too much pressure on them. You don't go through anywhere. You just get 12 points if you win the redemption race, which is really good for the standings.
I think as well, just brilliant to see the Sun Mini Mill manage to finish the day. You know, after the effort they put in earlier on today, they had some great on-air time here, and they were in the thick of the fight as well. But out front, you ride on board with Gray Ledbetter. We said it a bunch of times last time. She's only 19. This time she's partnered by Patrick O'Donovan, meaning they are the youngest driver pairing ever in Extreme E. And she's coming down the hill for Legacy Motor Club to take what is their best result this season. They take the win in the redemption race here in Scotland. And P2 goes to Clara Anderson and Timo Scheider. Great reward for their brilliant team, Sun Mini Mill, repairing that car and getting them back in. That is also their best result this season. Prior to that, they'd only had a P3 in the redemption race.
JBXE trying to bring it home. Andreas Backerode, Amanda Sorensen, they've had a tough journey out there, restarted it, got it back up and running, and they will come back and finish 3rd place.
Yeah, you wonder what happened, don't you? Because that gap, Jenny, hasn't changed at all. It's still a minute 30, so there's obviously nothing wrong with the car after the restart. So they'll have to do a little investigation. I remember, do you remember Senegal when the cut-off switch got pulled by a tree, didn't it, when they drove through the branches? And not for JBXE. I think that was Chip Ganassi racing with maybe RJ Anderson.
No, it was Kyle.
Was it Kyle Duke? Bless him, absolute legend, deeply missed, and a lovely man. But yeah, managed to, he drove through the trees and pulled the cut-off switch, didn't he, when they were leading, if I remember correctly. But
you couldn't have made it up.
No, absolutely not. I imagine they put tape over the cut-off switches after that, or maybe just didn't drive under the trees anymore. But yeah, JBXE bringing it home after, that's a bit of a shame. I would have liked to have seen a stiffer fight.
I think we need to send Laura out and find out what actually went wrong with that car, because they were really in the fight. Sorensen did such a good job out there, and I really enjoyed it. She's just coming, his just coming down.
P3 for Backerud and Sorensen. Well, there we go. There was a shame to lose Neil McLaren in turn 1, so unfortunately not quite the fight we expected, but good results for all those involved. On board with Gray Ledbetter, deep breath for her. She's looking happy enough. I think we're going to go down and see Patrick O'Donovan, who is in the command centre in Scotland. And I know he'll have a big smile on his face, and it's a great result. I know you would have wanted to be in the final, but yeah, there it is. I saw you were so stoked when you got out of the car. Some brilliant driving there, mate. I know you've not been happy with the pace, but you're getting your way up to full speed in this car, and you made some great passes there. That's more you, isn't it? Putting your cap on the hook and saying, look, I'm good enough for this. Well done to both of you.
No, thank you very much. It was a great job there, of course, by Gray to bring it home in the end. But off the start line, we didn't get the best of starts. We kind of got a little bit pushed out by Matthias. He forces out wide, and I think he had some misfortune, of course, into turn 1. I'm not too sure what happened there with this car, but we just capitalised, went up the inside, got a clean run up the hill. Then Timo Scheider squeezed us towards the top, small bit of contact, but we backed out, let him have the move. We knew that we could overtake him then because he went a little bit too wide into the entrance into the Continental Traction Challenge. He went a little bit too wide and just sank it up the inside, and then I'm not sure. I think it was Amanda then that I overtook into the top section of the gravel. But no, really happy with that. Thank you very much. And yeah, no, just really happy. We've found some strong pace now, and just grateful to be here. Thank you very much, obviously, Legacy Motorsport and everyone there for the opportunity, and for Jimmy Johnson for trusting us with the car.
Oh, you've done a great job out there, Patrick. And how does it differ? A weekend where you're actually racing and not just taking people on laps around, which is great, but not quite racing.
Yeah, no, it's certainly a different feeling altogether. It's certainly a lot more pressure. You know, when we do the testing in the championship car, we get the car to about 85, maybe 90%, but we're never completely pushing to the limit because, of course, we don't want to wreck a spare car that they have for the championship here. But no, I mean, to be able to come out here and just have like free reign and push as hard as you want, it's a really special feeling. It's really nice to be in the car when you've got that ability.
Great job. Yeah, great job, Patrick. Well done to you and to Gray. Please pass our congratulations to Gray as well. It's the best result for Legacy Motor Club, and we expect to see you in the grand final tomorrow. No messing about.
That's the plan. Thank you very much.
Brilliant stuff. Lovely to see a big smile. Also really nice, wasn't it, to see Timo Scheider and Kevin Hansen, 2 of the first drivers to go and congratulate him.
So Ekstrom Gutierrez for McLaren, 4th place, 3rd JBXC. Just bad luck for both of those 2 cars. Then 2nd place, it's Sunny Minimil. They're just pleased to be racing again after that big crash. And then in 1st place, Legacy Motor Club with their first win, the redemption race. Great result for them. And as you can see, they really stretched that gap. Great job.
Yeah, brilliant drive. Lovely to see such great racing at the starts. As I say, just great to see a bit of atmosphere between. Popular win for Patrick and Gray. As I say, 2 very much youngsters compared to some real legends we got in this paddock. So well done to them and Legacy Motor Club. Right, so this is a look back at that start. Patrick said, didn't he, they got run a bit wide by Ekstrom, and in fact, yeah, but you look here and you think you've lost out. Ekstrom's then the car's just gone completely dead on the exit.
And he couldn't restart it either. It's interesting.
Scheider got away with that, didn't he, running down the bales? Do you remember last year his teammate Clara Anderson tapped the bales and ended up going right through them?
Yeah.
So they can pull you in. Lovely pass, really nicely done. Good cutback move on Sorensen.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can see so many males going around the inside of JBXC, and that's when the power just cut off. So maybe a restart, as you saw, got them back up and running again.
Yeah, it was unlucky, I think, a tiny bit. Yeah, we've seen lots of contact like that, and the cars don't normally end up switching off, so bit of a shame for them. But brilliant drive by Ledbetter and O'Donovan. Both the mature drive as well by Ledbetter to hang on to that gap for the remainder of the race. Really nicely done. Here we go then, grand final time and a bit of Scottish atmosphere for you. Fantastic.
That's the kilt. That's the kilt we want someone to wear on the top of the podium if
Fraser
they
makes
manage
the podium. We're mugging him with a kilt. He doesn't know yet. He might find out if he's listening to the commentary on site, which we know they might be. But wonderful, wonderful stuff. What a beautiful venue. What a great country as well, Scotland. Amazing stuff. Andretti Autokili, then the first of our finalists. They've had a good run today. Here they are getting the whole shot earlier on. They managed to take a win in the first of their races and a P3 in Q2. This was the win, and it was an easy one, wasn't it? Car coming home super clean, really nicely done.
Yeah, I've been impressed by them this weekend. Let's see what they've got when it comes to the final.
Yeah, very nice. Laura has had a very quick catch-up with the team. Let's see if we can hear from them.
Katie Mannings, Andretti Autokili through to the final. A great day of racing so far, clean racing importantly. How are you looking ahead to the grand final?
Yeah, it's not easy to make a final here in Extreme. The format is so tough and there's so many competitive teams now, so that's a good feeling in itself to make it to the final. Anything can happen now. It's Timmy lining up with the girls and then it's me taking over the car against the guys, so we're the only team that's done that differently for the final. Don't know what that means. Hopefully we can use it to our advantage, but yeah, we just got to give it everything. It's the last race of the day, so yeah, we'll be going for the win.
All smiles there from Katie Mannings on to R.03, Jenny.
Yeah, they've had a bad start to their day, but actually they've managed to redeem themselves as they've gone through, and this is them taking control of everything out there. It was a good team up with Michaela and Johan, just taking that win. And they just scraped through, actually. They had 14 points, and it was the Continental Traction Challenge that managed to get them through to the final. It was cut and go for a while.
Michaela, R.03 through to the final. Just sum up your thoughts ahead of this one in round 3.
Yeah, I mean, it's great to be in a final. Started off really tough in Heat 1, and then you wanted a great start in Heat 2, so from there on could just try to focus on the Super Sector, because we knew that would be the decider whether we would be in the final or not. So it was great to be in the final, and yeah, just have to keep on pushing from there on. It's really tough out there.
Thank you very much. Lovely stuff.
Here we go, Eon next Veloce. They had a fantastic time last time we were here in Scotland with a win in the second event. Some great passes and driving from them. They won both qualifying sessions to take the top qualifying spot.
Kevin, you've had some brilliant battles already today. Veloce are through to the final, top qualifiers. How will you make sure you're on the top step of that podium?
Well, we've had a great car all weekend long so far with the Eon Next Veloce Racing crew. Has done a fantastic job to get everything there. And I think, you know, we got a great race car, but this Extreme E has got to be really, really tough to get through into the lead. Molly's done a great start this morning, just got pushed around. So she's starting now for us in the final, and I'm very confident she'll do a great job, and I'll take it home to the finish after.
And our fourth team making up the final, it is Laia Sanz and Fraser McConnell. This should be a good mix. I mean, they've been second in both of their qualifiers, but when it comes to the final, they'll be hoping for first place.
Fraz, Axiona Science took a win last time out at the Desert X Prix. You guys are second in the championship standings. What can you do here in Scotland?
Well, I mean, all we can do right now is just go for it. We've made it to the grand final. It's been a crazy first day. And, you know, everyone is showing really strong pace. Laia showed, you know, great ability in her first start in Q1. So, you know, I have full faith in her. I have full faith in the team. The car is ready, and she's going to go out there in final and send it.
Attention all teams, stand by for the start of Hydro X Prix. The grand final is about to commence. Energize your systems and prepare to race.
So, we are ready for the grand final today. It is a mega mix of teams that are going to line up on this grid and try their best to get the first win this weekend. 25 points on the line.
Timmy Hansen for Andretti Autokili is the only male driver down on the grid. Look, it's Michaela Arlen-Kotlinski, Molly Taylor, and Laia Sanz in for the other teams. Hansen is way out on the outside. He'll know he needs a good start here to try and get across these three very quick women. Arlen-Kotlinski, as championship leader with Johan Kristoffersen, will want to try and take this win as well, of course. 3 of these 4 teams have been in the final every event. A lot of wheel spin, an immediate hyperdrive for everyone. Great start on the inside for Laia Sanz. Timmy Hansen coming out wide, going to make the cut back towards the inside line. Doesn't look like there's room for him to be able to sneak along, though. RXR on the inside now. Taylor moves to the apex. She gets the whole shot. Hansen trying to get past RXR on the inside line, but Laya Sands is around the outside of Arlen Kotlinski. Arlen Kotlinski into Laya Sands. Timmy might be able to take advantage here. The RXR machine looks like it's crabbing up the road. Maybe a broken rear right on that from the contact. It is. So there's damage to the back of the RXR machine. Hansen needs to dispatch Arlen Kotlinski as quick as he can and try and get onto the back of Laya Sands, and he does so. So it's a disaster for the championship leaders. They have heavy damage at the start of the race. Timmy Hansen P3. We're going to get up with the drone and find out who's leading. It is Laya Sands in P2 and Molly Taylor leads for Veloce.
So RXR stranded and crabbing really heavily, but out in front, Molly Taylor in that black and red Veloce. Sainz trying to chase them down. Laya Sands in the car for them. This is going to be close, going over the jumps at 15, over the water jumps, and then they come round 16, and you can see Sainz just slowly pulling her in. It's Taylor versus Sands.
Yeah, Laya Sands really applying the pressure here. This is a lovely drive. Remember, they're handing over after 2 laps to McConnell, to Katie Munnings and to Kevin Hansen, of course, Timmy's brother, we've taken over from Molly. Looking at Veloce's results, I mean, they've been P3 at both events. They're actually the only teams who've been on the podium at both events, Jenny. So if they can maintain this, it'll be 3 podiums in a row, but they want to be on the top step this time.
And Hansen is fighting back as well. That third place car just nibbling that lead of Laya Sands and Molly Taylor. Molly Taylor, a past champion. You remember she was champion in season 1. She knows what to do to bring a car in winning ways.
Timmy Hansen's got good exit speed here. He's underneath the rear of the Axiona Sainz machine, pulls out to the right-hand side. He may have to wait here and get across. He could dive to the inside. I think he wants better exit speed up the hill. He does look to the inside on the way in. Have to throttle on early, see if he can get through. This is where you wish you had your Renault Hyperdrive left. He's closed down that gap because, of course, Sands was in that battle with Taylor. Then you start driving defensively and you lose time. Now look, Hansen and Sands are having a battle and Taylor is getting away. That's the difference driving on your own, mates.
Yeah, that's exactly what she would have wanted as well, for someone else to get into the mix so she can just get clear. Oh, contact as Andretti go up the back of Sainz, and you can see there's damage to that Axiona Sainz car. It's just bodywork, it peels away, but that contact, how much will that damage both of their chances to win this race? Because when they're fighting each other, they're not fighting at the front.
Yeah, they're losing time, aren't they? You actually saw Laya Sands got a bad bounce on the way into the corner. Timmy didn't get that, so he carried a bit more entry speed and into the back of the Axiona Sainz machine. At the moment, out front, Eon Veloce having a fantastic time. Clean screen, no damage, just a little bit of space from the cars behind. A minute and 31, Arlen Kotlinski is back. Looking at this, she's just coming down to the switch zone. Look at the end of the first lap.
Hansen trying to go round the outside, down the inside. He's trying to find any way he can through this.
Watch out for the RXR machine. It should be on track somewhere here, and he runs into the back of the Axiona Sainz machine again. The Andretti Autokila machine goes around. There was a downed flag there as well. The RXR machine was in the mix. You could see from the flags on the map they were coming up. So I wonder if that potentially caught Laya Sands out. She moved across. Timmy wouldn't have been able to see it from behind. So a little bit of carnage there, and we'll have to see what happens. 55 and 5 incident noted. That's from earlier, so that's not the Hansen incident. And with a flag down too, Jenny, lots to go on here, definitely for the stewards. It's going to be a busy afternoon.
Really is. So let's replay all the collisions. So this is Andretti going up the back of Laya Sands. Oh, you can see that is quite a heavy shunt, actually. That's the earlier one. So that's car 5 and 50. No, that's not car 5 and 55.
No, that's from the start, yeah.
Yeah. So that's a replay. You can still hear in the background the switch going on.
Interestingly, that drop flag, Jenny, so car 5 and 55 under investigation for the drop flag, and that's what we were saying. So look, Molly doesn't really need the water here because the car was already clean and all you do is get wet. You can see her hesitating as to whether to chuck 18 litres of water over Kevin Hansen through an open door.
Why not?
Yeah, I mean, luckily she didn't. Kevin pulls the belts on tight. Here comes, so she carried on round. Yeah, Arlen Kotlinski's carrying on round. You have to. We've seen that in Extreme that anything can happen. Do you remember at the end of last year, they crawled that car around and managed to get a half-decent result, rear end hanging off. This is the second impact. Look, Hansen hard into the back. Who takes the flag down? Axiona Sainz, but as he's... I wonder if you might discount that one, Jenny, because there's 2 cars hooked up. You can't really blame either.
Yeah, really hard. We'll find out right after the switch zone. They are so close. You've got the Veloce black and red car out front. That is Who's in that car now?
It's Kevin Hansen. So
Kevin Hansen
from Fraser McConnell. Katie Munnings' look is in P3 for Andretti Altequila. That gap doesn't look very much at 30 kilometres an hour, but when they get out of the exit and go for it, you'll see the true concertina effect of what they were when they came in. It was 2.1, and then it was 4.4. Very close behind. Okay, now that's a good indicator of the gaps. And in Noah Hyperdrive, look at that. So Kevin Hansen's used it, Katie Munnings used it, Fraser McConnell, according to our graphics, has not.
Yeah, and I think that's wise of McConnell. Go on the attack. He wants this win so badly. You can see the windscreen wipers on, bodywork flying off here, there and everywhere from all of the cars. Munnings, McConnell, Hansen. That is the order at the moment.
So where will McConnell use that hyperdrive? Is he going to use it to try and close the gap down, or will he close the gap down physically, if you like, and then try and use the hyperdrive to get away?
Right. Oh, there's a crash. Oh, no, this is R.03 has pulled off to the side. Sorry, run over bodywork. So that wasn't a crash. It's my getting so excited, overexcited, some would say. But it is still Hansel, McConnell, Munnings taking the lead. 2 seconds is the difference between McConnell and Hansen. You can see that gap closing down all the time. This is a great race.
It is indeed. Munnings 6.2 back. Here she comes. So I think for Katie, really, and Timmy, they need those two front teams to get stuck into each other. She needs Kevin Hansen and Fraser McConnell to properly go at it and lose a bit of time. But at the minute, Fraz is too far off the back. We were looking at the rear left of the Acciona site, trying to figure out, Jenny, if there was anything wrong. I think it's where the bodywork's missing. We're just seeing the camber change of the suspension in the corners, but it is hard to tell. When the bodywork's off, you do get a better look. Kevin Hansen, look, reaching across to the handbrake with the Veloce green grip around it. There you're on board with Fraser McConnell. The gap is now 1.9, so the Jamaican is on the chase for Acciona Sainz. Can he get close? 1.7.
Yeah, and one more lap to go for these drivers out there. Kevin Hansen in the lead at the moment for Veloce, but Sainz and Sands has done a good job to hand over to McConnell. And McConnell, we know, wants this. We know they're going to chase them. And now the Anoa hyperdrive is used, going up the hill with as much pace as they possibly can. 4 seconds of super speed going into this section.
That's closed the gap down to under 1.5. Brilliant place to use it. And now the timing screen shows 1.7. Coming up the screen, coming up the hill there, definitely the gap came down. Kevin Hansen must have done something really nice in these last few turns and got it hooked up. In terms of sectors at the minute, he's just gone quickest in Sector 1 and Sector 2. So really going very quickly indeed out front. Purple sector time for both those first two sections of track.
They've been on fire this weekend anyway. They had the fastest time in the Continental Traction Challenge coming into this round, and it looks like they're going to try and get it even more, cement that fact that actually we're here and we are the fastest team.
Yeah, brilliant drive, remember, top qualifiers as well, Jenny. This could be a clean sweep of absolutely every result today.
I love that.
Yeah, amazing. That would be amazing. Kevin, look, his just lips are going. Full concentration. They are still at the top of the Continental Traction Challenge at 119.7, and that's over now because we're on that last lap.
So it is Hansen coming down, Kevin Hansen in that Veloce car being chased down by Fraser McConnell in the Acciona Sainz team. They are coming to the final two corners. They're coming down that long, winding, pretty straight track and then into the finish. It is a win for Kevin Hansen and Molly Taylor in the Veloce team. And McConnell comes in second.
Katie Munnings going to take P3 here for Andretti Altequila. They're on the podium. Just trying to look at podium runs where Arlen Kotlinski, so Eon Veloce have been on the podium. That's 3 podiums in a row. They're the only team to be on the podium at every race, Jenny. Fantastic. First win for them this season as well. 2 P3s prior to this.
And you can see there, Arlen Kotlinski's got out of the switch zone. It was disaster for them. It went wrong really early on, and their championship lead will be slashed now.
Yeah, disappointment. You can tell, can't you, from the body language. She goes over to see Johan.
Acciona Sainz were only 2 points behind them going into this round, so that gap will be closed. Acciona Sainz taking second place. Veloce on 33 points coming into this, so the battle for the championship is well and truly alive.
Yeah, I think they're Okay, we've got a decision in for contact. So what is it? This is from earlier on, the decision. This will be based on this contact. So this was Hansen into the back of Sands. That was the second one. 10-second time penalty for causing a collision. Okay, doesn't change anything. They were P3 anyway, and RXR retired. So it's a cursory call. You've got to do it if you feel that's the way it was. I still think potentially Sands had seen the RXR machine and Timmy hadn't because he was so close behind. But I don't need to make excuses for the drivers, and it doesn't change the result, which is nice, isn't it? It's always a bit of a shame if the stewards change the result.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't think it would have been the right thing to do. So, yeah, costly for them, but it doesn't actually cost them anything because they were cemented into third place.
Kevin Hansen switching off a few different settings on the car. Fraser McConnell will be on the podium. I don't know if we're going to be able to force him to wear a kilt for P2, but you never know.
These are the results of the grand final. So in fourth place, and disappointment for RXR not finishing. Third place was Andretti Ultequila, Hansen and Munnings. And then in second place, Acciona Science. Sands and McConnell doing a great job out there, but not enough to take the win away from Molly Taylor and Kevin Hansen in the Ian Lex Veloce car. Well done to them, a championship win on a Saturday. Beautiful scenery, by the way. Absolutely stunning scenery that wraps around this amazing course in Scotland. And you can see Kevin just grasping his hand, happy with that win, understandably.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. I'm just looking back at last year. They had 2 wins last year. One in Saudi. Oh, no, sorry. 3 wins last year. 1 in Saudi, 1 in Scotland.
Oh, the bagpipe is piping.
1 in Chile.
Beautiful sound.
Into the podium and the sound of the pipes. There he is. They're hard work there. Do you remember last year all the drivers had to go, didn't they? We saw them trying to play the bagpipes. I don't think anybody was particularly successful at it.
Have you ever played?
No, you have circular breathing, you have to keep pressure in the bag the whole time, then you use your elbow to press the bag down. I mean,
so you know a lot about it, but you've never played it.
Maybe I'll get a set of bagpipes. My neighbours will love that, I'm sure.
Christmas is coming. So you can see the cars pulling into Parc Ferme, and look at that, Molly Taylor going up. Let's hear them. Yes.
So roping the cars into Parc Ferme, that's so people can't touch them afterwards. Kevin's trying to get Molly up on the car with him. Careful now, you need it tomorrow. Don't break anything off it.
Exactly.
But yeah, roping the cars in. You might have seen as well, they put a little chock under the rear wheel. Of course, there's no handbrake on these cars for parking. The handbrake is for sending, not for parking. And that's why it's sometimes referred to as the happy stick, the joystick, all sorts of things. But yeah, wedge underneath. There's Timmy Hansen. Is it Katie or Timmy? Katie coming across. Timmy will be there soon as well. She's there to congratulate them.
Oh, great day in the office. Amazing. We've seen some really great racing out there. We've seen some tactics come into play. We've seen some disappointment, but there you can see Veloce team coming down and getting great hugs, and they deserve it. They've been through some tough times in this championship, and it's great to see Veloce with smiles on their faces.
Yeah, 3 podiums in a row, 2 P3s, 1 win. Andretti Ultequila, they took a P2 back in Saudi Arabia, and they won the redemption race. That's a 2nd podium for them. Patrick O'Donovan there, R.03 as well over on the right-hand side. Little high-speed replay there. Let's look at some low-speed ones as well, shall we?
I quite like the high-speed one.
This was the run, trying to find a way to the outside. Lovely to that inside line, getting to the apex. Taylor did a great job off the line.
And I think this was the contact that unfortunately ended RXR's race with the Sands car.
Yeah, and it was just one of those things. There is a lot of momentum in a big off-road wheel and tyre, and if you catch them at the wrong angle, unfortunately that momentum will go through the car. So Timmy Hansen into the back of Lyle Sands twice, got penalised for the 2nd one. This was the 1st one. The 2nd one was as they came round to lap the RXR. Here it is, boom, into the rear. Penalty for that. Hasn't changed the result, as we said. A great win by Veloce. Nicely done, Kevin Hansen and Molly Taylor.
Well, you can see the paddock coming down that big slope, and congratulating everyone. The podium is right there. Let's go down and find out exactly how people are feeling. Let's start with Andretti Ultequila. Katie Munnings did a great job out there. Timmy Hansen did a great job as well, as those people come down around the paddock and podium. Laura Winter is as ever down there. She's got all the news. So let's head down there.
Timmy just gazing adoringly at his brother who took the win today, but it is a podium from Andretti Altequila. Timmy, I'm going to come to you first. That was a pretty eventful opening couple of laps with Laia Sanz, and very much you can't park there as there was a bit of contact. Talk me through it.
Yeah, I got a parking fee from I can't park on her roof there. No, there's a very slippery spot there, and Michaela was parked on the side. Laia was trying to be defensive and stood on the brakes, and me in the slippery, I couldn't stop in time. So yeah, we got a penalty, and that's fair, I think. We tried our best in the race. I tried to send it on the outside, but from the outside of the grid, like Michaela already sent it there, and like there's no way for another car to be there. So I was at the back. Then I lost some time behind their slow car. I caught up, but couldn't hand over the car in the best position, really.
But Katie, it's a podium and a home race for you, obviously, in Great Britain as well. What does it mean?
Yeah, it's a massive to be on the podium again, back-to-back podiums for the team. So it's so hard to even get to the final. So you're always happy when you make the podium. Again, lots of carnage happening out there. I had a couple of two-wheel moments trying to stay with them, and it's intense. When it's dry, it's really quick here, and it's very different feeling to being in the wet. So predicting the grip is a challenge.
Great stuff, and you have tomorrow to look forward to as well. Thank you both so much. Well done. Enjoy the podium. Congratulations.
Well, Timmy said it, didn't he, about that start. He had a good start. He went for the outside line, but as he said, Michaela was already there. And then to do the cutback, the other two cars were on the right-hand side, so nowhere to go there. Couldn't manage to get himself into the lead. Still a good drive, and they get P3.
Our podium is fast approaching, so we've got to be quick. So I just want to get a quick reaction from both of you guys very quickly on what this means. P2 for Acciona Sainz and a real step in the championship standings.
Take it away.
Well, we are so happy. I think we took a good result, thinking that we had the last position to choose the grid in the first quali. We saved the day really well. We didn't expect a podium, maybe also because we chose the strategy that I start in the final. Also, I'm never so good in the start, so I'm really happy that more or less I did a good job today, and Fraser also. So happy for the team, and keep working for tomorrow.
We'll see you tomorrow. Franz, we've got to let you go because the podium's fast approaching. We'll hear from you tomorrow, I'm sure. Thanks. Well done, Acciona Sainz.
Oh, and now the rain starts pouring down, you can see. But this is the replay. This is Andretti going up the back of Acciona Sainz. Uncomfortable, but as you said, just a parking note. Don't do that again.
Molly Taylor, Kevin Hansen, what is it about Scotland, Veloce, and taking the big win? Kevin, I can see it written all over your face. You're delighted.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're powered by Eon next, and we're here in Scotland, so obviously we're going to have extra power. I think the team has done a fantastic job all day, and yesterday we had the greatest car, and the start of Molly was just perfect. It was brilliant, and it made my life very much easier. So a great race.
Talk us through that start then, Molly, and what it means to win here.
Yeah, we had like a couple of scenarios in my head, but you never really know. As you say, you have all these plans, and then it all kind of goes out the window once you start. But yeah, managed. I thought I might have a chance, and so I went for it. And but yeah, then it was a real kind of battle too. It was a tight fight the whole way, and even when Kev took over, it was close. There was no letting off.
Your parking wasn't so nice to me
I
in
know.
this race.
I know. I was all going so well. I kind of panicked a bit and just went made sure I was in, but I was like an extra car in.
Guys, great stuff. I'm going to have to let you go to the podium, and that is the third one for you from 3 races so far as well. Such brilliant consistency. Well done. Enjoy.
It's interesting, isn't it? Kevin with all the quotes. Great stuff from him. But yeah, brilliant result from them. Didn't think they could go better than last year, but they have. They qualified second last year with 1 win. This year they've taken the perfect result. TQ and the win and the 2 points for the Continental Traction Challenge sees them at the top of the table. 5 points clear of Acciona Sainz, who were 3 points clear of RXR. Andretti Altequila are in 4th, where they were before, but it is still tight at the top, and none of these teams are anywhere near out. We're on round 3 out of 10, and we've seen the pace from the entire field. So really looking forward, certainly to tomorrow, but the rest of the season as well. We heard from Katie, it's very hard just to make the final.
Just 8 points separate the top 3, and you can see how quickly it can turn on its head, and you get someone else chomping at the bit. Veloce now lead the championship as they led this race beautifully, as they led the Continental Traction Challenge all weekend. They've done
Let's
it
begin the
really good race.
celebrations by
Podium time.
welcoming our podium finishers to the stage. In 3rd place, Andretti Altequila Extreme E. standing for the winning team's national anthem. Congratulations.
5 different nations on the podium here. Great to see the Union Jack up there for Katie Munnings at her home event. But yeah, 2 Swedes, an Australian, a Spaniard and a Jamaican. It's quite the mix. We don't just do equality in terms of males and females. We get all the countries in there, Jenny.
Yeah, racing around the world for the world. That's the Constructors' Trophy being handed out now to E.ON Next Veloce Extreme E team. And look what it means to them. Yeah. It means the world. And I love these.
Yeah, the trophies are cool, aren't they? They're all
so
recycled
cool.
plastics and all different designs on them at every different event.
Yeah, and laser printed. Very clever. So our winners, third place, take their third place trophies. Smiling very happily.
They'd love to take the win, wouldn't they? Having taken the win last year, Andretti able to kill it, and then have it taken away with the little penalty. They're on the podium today, but as I said, it is tough to get through to the final. There isn't a team here that go, nah, they won't make it. There is a chance for all of them to make it to the final. And then when they're in, you know, you'd like to think at least 3 of the 4 will be up for a shot at the win. So Axiona Sainz still having a great season.
And giving out the trophy for first place is Jimmy McClay, 5 times British Rally champion. He was earlier seen having a chat with Carlos Sainz, but he gets to award the trophy up in Scotland. It seems only right.
Of course it is, and if you're not aware, I mean, where have you been? Colin McRae and Alistair McRae's father, absolutely fantastic. The next generation of McRae's is coming through as well. Max McRae, Alistair's son, is now rallying in European rallying and doing a brilliant job, but it's a fantastic win here, presented by a Scottish legendary rally driver to 2 legendary Extreme E drivers. Molly Taylor and Kevin Hansen take the win for E.ON Next Veloce, and it was a synchronised champagne smash on the podium. I want to be a part of that. That looks like fun, doesn't it?
Looks amazing. They've raced really hard today. It's been clean, it's been fun, it's been, at times, like very much shoulders out, argy-bargy, but they've all done such a good job today.
Look at this. See, the team members can have the drink. The drivers, unfortunately, have got to lay back a little bit because tomorrow it's gutting, mustn't it? When you've had the big win, you've got to wait for the celebration. Double win, that's what you need. They didn't have a double celebration on Sunday night.
I don't know, I think they're probably pretty happy without the champagne. Yeah. They don't care, they've won. The bagpiper is piping. Everyone is celebrating that win. And just celebrating racing in Scotland. It's so nice to see them back here for the Hydro X Prix. And the champagne is definitely flowing.
Oh, it's great, just great for the series to be back. It feels like it is the longest break we've ever had between Saudi Arabia and Scotland. Obviously, we have a little break over the winter. Normally, they're not that long. We kind of finish. Actually, I reckon that break might be longer than the winter break was, because I'm sure we finished in December and started in February. So, yeah. Oh, Jimmy McRae there for the celebrations. That's brilliant. It won't be lost on any of these drivers. Yeah, all of these drivers will have been inspired a bit by Colin for sure.
Yeah.
And you know, Jimmy, his father was, as you said, Jenny, 5 times a British Rally champion. Brilliant. Just an incredible legacy for Scotland in terms of motorsport. The McRae name is a legend in if you want to call it off-road motorsport, you can. Rallying, you know, he really is.
Yeah. Veloce then with that win. 62 points on the championship. They lead it now ahead of Sainz, Axiona Sainz with 57 points, and then Andretti just behind RXR. RXR, not a great day for them. It just didn't go to plan, did it?
No, it did not, unfortunately. I say they were the championship leaders when they came here. They'd had a win and a P4. That was enough, thanks to their qualifying positions as well, that they were at the top of the standings, but they're just a couple of places down now, but it's wide open, isn't it? It really is, and they do have a tendency to fight back very impressively indeed.
Team celebrations.
Yeah, all the teams up there too. Oh, they're taking the track. They're going, now come on, you guys. This is the Veloce photo. That's what they want. Off you pop. This one's for the squad.
And this is the amount of work that goes into Extreme E. These are the teams. These are the teams that go all around the world, making this great spectacle for you.
Massive shunt for Clara Anderson and Sun Mini Mill earlier on today. She ended up over the bales and out. They managed to get the team back on. This was Bakkerud going off the side of the road. Some incredible racing between him and Kevin Hansen. The start's tricky. You've got to try and get the whole shot. No one's managed to make the cut back yet. We've had door-to-door action all day long, and we've had a brilliant win for Veloce. 3 podiums in a row. They're looking extremely strong. Is this going to be their championship year?
Well, that's the question, isn't it? You'll just have to come back tomorrow to see what's going to happen. We do it all again tomorrow. All 8 cars will be ready to go. All 16 drivers will be trying to challenge each other and take it to the very, very limit. Look at the mud. Look at the fun that they've had out there. Hopefully you've had fun as well today. If you haven't, what can I say?
Yeah, I mean, come on. You need to liven yourself up a bit. Our thanks to Laura Winter and the whole team on site. Jenny Gow, thank you. Great to have you back alongside. I'm Andrew Coley. We have thoroughly enjoyed today. I think the action has been outstanding. So please do join us tomorrow for round 4 of Extreme E 2024 from Scotland.
And it's green in Scotland.
Oh, takes out almost the whole field. Slides up the inside. Oh, nice run! Oh, Clara Anderson! That is a lovely move.